We went down another floor. Never thought I'd come back here. Most of Lobotomy Corporation's facilities consist of multiple floors. Each floor should be occupied by an abnormality marking its domain.
Seriously? There's more of them?
So, where'd you figure all that info about what we'll face and stuff?
Faust knows it all. The guide said the Before team does reconnaissance in advance.
So you only know that because you have ties to the staff.
That information does not contradict my statement.
In any case, this means we should expect at least one major threat on every floor. It'd be idiotic to advance into the unknown with hostiles on our 6. Looks like we have no choice but to take them down as we go.
You took the words right out of Faust's mouth.
Is it not an ideal thing to be able to convey your intentions before they have been verbalized?
Dante, it's time to see the star.
I'm starting to feel like I'm being taken for granted.
Need a hand?
Another veteran appeared from the dark, his gait grim and heavy. He must have been a high-ranking soldier once. Despite its age, his badge still gleamed. Manager Gregor? I think I know your face. But from where? I was the head manager of your team. It's incredible how a deserter like you has the audacity to kill my men. They were once your own comrades, you know. Look, the war ended a decade ago. Haven't any of you learned to move on from playing soldiers? Ended? Nothing has ended. Nothing has ended. Damn it. The war might have ended for you when you deserted G-Corps. But for the rest of us, we never left the battlefield, even to this day. As much as I'd rather not relate to you this way, I'm not really that different here. Then you ought to understand, Manager Gregor. Only one verdict awaits deserters. You say that like it means something, but it's against company policy to carry out summary execution for personal revenge, boss man.
Sounds like a plan. Let's go.
Next.
Is that all?
Roger that.
Where do I go next?
I got a clean hit.
An obvious outcome.
Perhaps the time spent off the battlefield has rusted the old soldier's prowess. The head manager, who must have defeated countless enemies in his prime, was now facing his own end. People used to respect you, Gregor! I never asked them to. Don't proceed any further. Only hell awaits you. Sorry, but I don't think I can follow your advice. I ought to be a go-getter if I don't want to be fired. Have you abandoned your honor for some pittance? Sold it in a bundle along with my medal. The landlord was getting real impatient about my rent, you see. The head manager smiled bitterly as he expired. You're no different from us. In the end, we're nothing but disgusting pests. He took a few more shallow breaths, then ceased to move. Hey, mind if I borrow a cig? Just this once. Gregor put the borrowed cigarette next to the one he already held in his mouth, lit it, then tossed it on the chest of the deceased commander. Sorry, didn't want to share mine with that thing. Ryoshu gave a snort. For a short while, the smoke from Gregor's cigarette lingered in the air with prevailing silence.
Let me show them what art is.
I don't see any signs of those ex-soldiers around here or up ahead.
The commander did warn us not to go further.
As we proceeded, we discovered bodies that seemed to have been here for quite some time. There are, Elcor's employees. I see traces of blunt instruments. All the bodies share them, in fact. A management report. This document contains instructions for keeping abnormalities in check, but employees tasked with managing an abnormality usually memorize the instructions perfectly, down to each minute detail. They wouldn't have needed these, so why? I dare say none of them had the necessary information when the abnormality escaped. If the eggs weren't moved into containment yet, that could be the case. There are way too many corpses here. What kind of abnormality could have massacred all these people? Hang on. What's that smell? You see, our office purchased a rather expensive gear the other day. What's this bloke on about? Sources suggested that toxin levels will begin to rise after a certain floor.
I've been bleeding from my ears for a while now. Should I be worried? No battle is fought without adversity.
I was also told that continued exposure may cause bleeding.
How come you're okay, though? It's the anti-abnormality gas grenade supplied to employees. One must have gone off somewhere among the bodies here.
Yes, it seems the toxicity level is pretty high around this area. Hopkins had put on a gas mask before we noticed.
Hey now, what about us?
We weren't granted any additional supplies.
You slippery rat. You knew about this? Bloody scum, that's what you are. Heathcliff broke off mid-sentence and dropped to one knee.
Elevated emotional states accelerate blood flow. In other words, the toxin will spread faster. Try to remain calm, minimize movement, and breathe at regular intervals.
Hopkins, why? Why didn't you warn me?
Oh, I've got a question for you too, Yuri. Why would I make our office squander its precious funds on expensive gadgets for a deadweight like you to waste? Let's be real. It's a miracle that you managed to join us in the first place. Aya may have taken a liking to you, enough to give you special treatment, but now that she's dead, who gives a damn? Sneaky blighter. How do you live with yourself? Don't be silly. Everything's fair game for a fixer. Hearing that the Red Gaze had company tickled my curiosity, but as it turns out, you were just a ragtag band of lunatics who thought it'd be a good idea to waltz right into these death traps without even a bit of research. Can't believe we gotta let that tosser carry on. Picking up on the hostility, Hopkins backed off and made a quick dash for the exit. Well, at least I managed to grab an armful of enkephalin thanks to you. I'll write in my report that you all went missing, because death by asphyxiation is just too embarrassing. Ta-ta! Yuri slumped to the floor, watching blood pour from her nose to her hands. And she wasn't the only one. Rhodia, Heathcliff, and the other sinners were writhing in pain as blood gushed out of them. Gregor? I took this with me so you could have something to remember her by. He was holding the same type of gas mask as the one Hopkins wore. But why? So, Miss Aya, she... looked after you, huh? This is as good as yours, then. As for our unprepared band of lunatics, we do have a way out. Don't worry about us. Coughing up blood, Yuri put on the mask.
I know he's right. I know it's hard for someone without connections like myself to be appreciated by an office. No matter how many errands I run for them, all day, all night. There were only 3 minutes left until the branch was locked down.
Initiating site burial.
The doors were about to close on me.
Energy transfer is 85% complete.
Yuri, don't leave me behind! Yuri! So what was I supposed to do? Is it so wrong that I survived? Should I have been buried alive alongside my coworkers? And the whole building was being locked down just to keep the abnormalities from getting out.
It is a sin. Down here it is.
That does sting a bit, Gregor.
I stood there blankly for a moment, and snapped back and looked over at the sinners. Half of them were already dead on the ground, and Ishmael's head drooped just after she said her last words.
A sin?
But... So what, buddy? You've got to live on like it's nobody's business. Laying guilt on yourself over spilled milk will wear your heart out.
Once Gregor drew his last breath, Yuri and I remained the only survivors. Don't worry too much about us. I can take them back there and revive them. I knew all Yuri could hear was the mechanical ticking, but I did my best to communicate my words to her nonetheless.
I know.
And she did not speak again for a while. After a long stretch of heavy, awkward gloom, the toxic gas finally cleared.
Looks like it's okay now.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give you a hand. Let's go bring your people back to life.
With that, Yuri took off her gas mask and calmly carried the sinners on her shoulders one by one. Unsure how to respond to the look on her face, I decided to keep quiet.
Roger that!
I spotted a vulnerability. An opportunity has arrived. Charging in.
Next.
Where do I go next?
Could have been more beautiful. An obvious outcome.
Were those abnormalities responsible for killing all the employees? I doubt that. If my guess is right... Please keep your eyes forward, Executive Manager. There's another one of them. A humanoid being wearing the head of a statue was slumped against a wall.
Hi. Are you here to draw your lot? Gather all your IDs and give them to me. Then we'll find the winner.
Its hand was barely grasping onto the strap of an employee ID card. Alex was the name written on it. Alex.
Gone nuts, has she? And what's that babble about winners?
Some abnormalities had to be placated with regular offerings as part of the managerial guidelines.
You shouldn't go that way. They will find you.
You had to sacrifice people to it, didn't you?
It's your turn to draw
People? What happens if no human sacrifice is made? We never found out. We'd never deviated from the procedures. I guess it escaped and started killing people left and right.
That abnormality must have been one spineless bugger. Do they thwack victims in the back of the head?
What do you mean?
Did you all get jabbed in the eyes or what? Those wounds were clearly left by humans. You can tell they were beating the shite out of each other. Those thickos killed each other in a fight.
But why would they do that?
It's clear as day. Probably figured they could last a bit even after the branch got buried. Keep up the stream of human sacrifices nice and steady, and rescue might eventually arrive. Guess they kept the lots going for a few months, buying themselves time with each sacrifice. Problem though, you think the one who drew the short straw would always go quietly? If I were them, I'd rather bash the nearest bloke's head in than let him kill me. Better them than me, ain't that right? And the rest is history, I bet.
And the last survivor put on the stone mask belonging to the statue heads, believing that it'll save her from being sacrificed. That can't be. Alex isn't the kind of person who'd kill just so she could save her own skin.
How do you know that? You can't even be sure if that's actually Alex or not.
Let me give you a tip. You'll be much better off going on your own foot before they come for you.
Let us be on our way. This person will perish before long. While everyone else moved along, Yuri remained in place and kept on staring at the statue-clad individual.
It wasn't your fault. You know it's not, right? Leave me behind, Yuri. Please leave me.
Time to go. They're rummaging through corpses looking for something. Relentless demands for an offering ring in the ears. They look like they might jump us at any second. You see a dying person nearby gasping for air. Should you offer this person up? Or... don't offer the person. Angered by your inaction, the clay dolls attacked you. Combat encounter. Win the next battle to gain the ego gift, Bloodied Mask of a Devotee.
I was craving a workout. Time to smash stuff up.
Sure, no problem.
Roger that.
Where do I go next? Down they sink. An obvious outcome.
Ego gift get. Bloodied Mask of a Devotee. All allies gain +5 offense level and +5 defense level.
Next.
An obvious outcome.
The abnormality looks upset. It seems to want something, but what should we give?
Charging in. I spotted a vulnerability.
There are many ways to calm one down, but this abnormality seems to like gifts the most. A fresh batch of blood might be able to appease it. Offer a clay doll. You gave a living clay doll as tribute. Satiated, the abnormality calmed down for a moment. All of Doomsday Calendar's parts gain 3 attack power down.
The enemy has been stranded.
I got a clean hit! Piss easy. Piss easy.
The heat of the abnormality is wearing everyone down. We'll have to make an offering to calm its wrath.
Piss easy.
To weaken the flame, you'll need cool water. Since we aren't carrying any buckets of water, we should offer up someone cool instead. Offer a clay doll. You gave a living clay doll as tribute. The flame shrunk to a flicker. Doomsday Calendar loses 100 HP. Frenzy of Doomsday Calendar expired. This floor is crawling with maggots. These bugs aren't so bad after the last floor's abnormality. Don't want to see anything like that ever again. Sure, Greg would be glad to hear that. Aren't you, Buggy Buddy? But Gregor wasn't paying attention to Rodia.
Don't you all hear something?
We've been hearing a constant growl. Rodia, are you really that hungry at a time like this? Hey, don't you know you're supposed to let that kind of stuff slide? Come on, girl.
No, not that. It's like... For the first time on the expedition, Gregor walked ahead of the group and opened the door next to him, as if by some compulsion.
Wait, that's a containment unit!
It's like... that time. No, the door was already open. Gregor gazed blankly into the room, lost in the shower of the outpouring golden light.
Greg... Did we travel back in time?
I see an overcast sky. From a distance, screams and roars twine into a warped cacophony. The ear-shattering boom of artillery and war cries suffuse the air with its acrid sting.
Isn't it obvious? This is a battlefield. The heart of it.
Am I dreaming? Is this a nightmare? Why am I back here? So why the hell are we in a bloody battlefield? Did we trigger a trap or something?
No, we're on the right track. The essence of the technology we're looking for is not far from here.
You mean the Golden Bough?
Correct. Do you recognize when this was?
Anyone with functioning eyes should know at a glance. I actually don't. I confess, straight up. I cannot possibly blame you for not recognizing this, Executive Manager, as you have no eyes in the conventional sense. Sure, whatever you say. Otis cleared her throat as if to mask her embarrassment, then narrowed her gaze at the battlefield. Judging from the colorful wave of garish flags showing off the factions in play, this is at least 70 days into the Smoke War. This concludes briefing, Manager. That's when someone came up from behind and suddenly tugged at Heathcliff's shirt.
Are you out of your minds? Take shelter now! You'll age rapidly if exposed to that bomb's blast! The outpost next to ours turned into a nursing home. They can't even walk without sticks!
Who the hell are you, and why do you act like you know us?
Oh, Manager Gregor! My respects, sir!
As soon as he noticed Gregor, the bandaged man snapped to attention and saluted him.
You wouldn't recognize me, sir. I'm Toma from Biomimetics Maintenance. I thought you were a part of the advance party. I didn't expect you to find you here at the rear, sir. Are you on your way to the front? I could help you get there since the augmentation on my legs allows me to jump... Ugh, that sounds gross.
Toma cast a curious glance toward Rhodia.
You! What did you just...
Hey, Toma. So you're an assistant manager or regular staff?
Sir, yes, sir. I'm an assistant private, sir.
You see, she's a new hire who had a procedure done not too long ago, so she's still dealing with the delirium side effect. You know how it is. I'll give her a good talking to.
I see. We must be getting desperate sending new hires into battle.
Yeah, we're sorry for the trouble. I've got to take her somewhere real quick.
Gregor practically yanked himself out of the conversation and hurried to Faust.
Just what's going on, Faust? These are my memories.
We're in the fathoms of your ego, to be precise. An open path in your psyche. In other words, we've entered your heart and mind, Gregor.